She thought she was just driving home until she died. But when a fatal crash took her life, Lorena found herself face to face with God, demanding answers about Jesus. What she saw shattered every belief she'd ever held and revealed a truth far bigger than religion. Now she's back, and what God told her can't be ignored.
My name is Lorena Barran, and for most of my life, I had one burning question I couldn't shake. Was Jesus really the Son of God, or just another great teacher? I didn't grow up in a super religious home. My parents believed in God, but our faith was casual. We went to church on holidays. God was an idea, not a person. As I got older, I wanted more. I craved truth that felt real, not inherited or handed down. So I searched. Hard. I studied Buddhism, explored Hinduism, meditated through New Age circles. I respected Jesus deeply, his love, his wisdom. But something about the idea that he was God's son, it felt too extreme, too exclusive. Maybe he was just misunderstood, human. And that uncertainty followed me for years. But then came the day I begged God for truth, and he answered me. But to hear him, I had to die first. It started with a retreat. A friend invited me to a weekend getaway for spiritual seekers. No religious pressure, just peace, meditation, and divine connection. It was held in this beautiful forest setting, the kind of place where silence feels sacred. We prayed, reflected, talked about divine energy and the soul. And yet, I left that weekend more frustrated than when I arrived. Still no answers, still no peace. Driving home, the sun setting gold over the trees, I whispered a prayer I didn't even think would be heard. If Jesus is really your son, show me. I don't want blind faith. I want truth. I didn't expect anything. But seconds later, everything changed. Out of nowhere, a massive truck veered into my lane. I had no time to react. Just a deafening crash, pain like fire. Screams, maybe mine. Then, silence. No more pain, no more noise. I wasn't in my body anymore. I floated above the wreck, watching paramedics surround the twisted metal below. I saw myself, broken, lifeless. But I wasn't scared. I felt weightless, free, and for the first time in my life, truly at peace. A gentle force began to pull me upward. I tried to resist, to understand what was happening, but it was like the universe itself was guiding me. Then I saw the light. It wasn't just bright, it was alive. It pulsed with love, like waves of golden warmth flooding through me. Then I noticed I wasn't alone. Beings of light surrounded me, radiant, familiar. They didn't speak with voices, but I understood them perfectly. "Welcome," they said, not in words, but straight into my soul. These weren't strangers. Somehow, I knew them. They had been with me my entire life. Then, without warning, my life unfolded in front of me. Not like watching a movie, it was living it all over again. Every word, every choice, every thought. But it wasn't about judging me, it was about understanding the impact. I saw forgotten moments, comforting a friend, ignoring someone in need. Every action rippled outward, touching people in ways I never realized. I saw my prayers, not the rehearsed ones, but the desperate cries, the whispered doubts. And I saw that they had all been heard, even the ones I forgot I prayed. Then, everything changed. A vast presence filled the space before me, larger than light, greater than words. I didn't see God with my eyes. I felt him with my entire being. He wasn't just a force, he was alive, intimate, personal. I had searched for him my entire life, and now I stood in the fullness of his presence. Every doubt, every fear, Every question I had ever carried melted away in the face of who he was. But one question still remained, and trembling, I asked the one thing my soul still burned to know. Was Jesus truly your son? God didn't speak a yes or no. Instead, he showed me. Suddenly I was there, in the past. I saw Mary. I felt her fear as the angel told her she would carry the Son of God. I watched Jesus born into the world, into weakness, into humanity. I walked beside him through his ministry. I saw how he touched the sick and made them whole, how he looked into broken people and made them feel seen, truly seen. I saw Judas betray him, and then I saw the cross. Not as an image, but as pain. I felt the weight of the world fall on him. Every lie, every sin, every wound, he took it all. I heard his final cry, "It is finished." And in that moment, I understood. Jesus wasn't just a man. He wasn't just a prophet. He was God's heart poured into human flesh. Then I saw the resurrection, light exploding from the tomb. Victory, life, God's voice filled me. He is not just my son. He is my heart, given for you. I collapsed. Tears flooded my soul, and for the first time in my life, I whispered the words I had never truly believed. Jesus, I believe. Just when I thought it was finished, God showed me something I wasn't ready for, something darker. The light around me dimmed. I was in a space between realms, a place of sorrow. I heard voices, screams, weeping, people crying out, "I thought I had more time. I needed more proof." And I saw them, souls in darkness, not because God sent them there, but because they had chosen not to know him. Then the vision shifted. I saw churches, Christians singing, preachers preaching, but behind the noise, empty hearts, people who believed in name, but never truly knew Jesus. Some went to church every Sunday, but never surrendered. A pastor who softened the truth to keep people comfortable. God's voice pierced through. It is not enough to know of my son. You must know him. Then I saw the world, and what I saw terrified me. People obsessed with wealth, power, fame, while ignoring eternity. Churches watering down truth to fit culture. Scripture twisted to justify sin. And then, a great deception rising. I didn't fully understand it, but I knew it would blind many, even those who thought they were safe. God's voice thundered. They must seek my son now, not tomorrow, now. I turned to God, sobbing, "Lord, please, let me stay." But his words were firm, full of love and sorrow. "Tell them what you've seen. Time is short." I begged, I pleaded, but he knew my mission wasn't finished. Everything faded. The light, the warmth, the presence, then pain. I gasped for breath. Hospital lights, nurses shouting, "She's awake!" A doctor whispered in shock. She had no pulse for 15 minutes. But there I was, alive. No brain damage, no organ failure, no explanation, just a message I had to share. As soon as I could speak, I told them, "I saw God. Jesus is real. He's not just a man. He is the Son of God." Some believed, some cried, some rolled their eyes. Doesn't matter, because I know what I saw. I know what's coming. If I've learned anything from what happened, it's this: God isn't distant. He's not hiding. I spent years thinking truth was some puzzle I had to solve, chasing every belief except the one I was most unsure about. Jesus. I thought I needed proof, but what I really needed was honesty, a moment of surrender. When I finally asked God to show me, he did. Not in a church, not through a sermon, but in the space between life and death. And what I saw changed everything. This isn't about religion or rules. It's about relationship, about knowing the one who made you, not just knowing about him. That's the part I missed for so long. I don't have all the answers, but now I know the one who does. And that's more than enough.